So where did we stop in the last class? We were talking about the arrays, and we have gone through for each loop. Yes. So today I got few operators which I would like to talk about. First of all, so let's see this increment and decrement operators. Yeah. So when we talk about increment and decrement operators, we can actually broadly classify them into two types. Increment operators can be classified into two types, and decrement operators can be classified into two types. What are they? Let's see. First of all, we have pre-increment or decrement operator, and you'll find a post-increment or decrement operator. Pre-increment or decrement operators, and post-increment or decrement operators here. Yes. So what is the difference between these two operators? Let's see. So pre-increment means you'll find that here always the operator plus plus or minus minus will be before the operand or variable, I can say. For example, this is example for that. Yes, plus plus I. You see here plus plus is an operator and I is operand here. Plus plus is an operator. Plus plus is an operator and I is operand. Operand means here I is operand. Operand means nothing but a variable on which this operator operates. Okay. Yes. So always one thing you have to remember this point. Expressions are evaluated from left to right. Expressions will be evaluated from left to right here. So you see, when this expression is evaluated, so first of all, the plus plus operator will be, the control will come across plus plus operator first, increment operator first. The control will come across increment operator first, right? So that's the reason why it is called as pre-increment of pre-increment operator here. Similarly, minus minus I. So this is pre-decrement operator. So minus minus is a decrement operator which reduces or decreases that I value by 1. By default, it decrements I value by 1 here. Yeah, both are pre-increment and decrement operators here respectively. Okay. Next, we can use this increment or decrement operators this way also. I plus plus or I minus minus. Okay. I plus plus or I minus minus here. So you see, when this expression is evaluated, first of all, the operand, the control will come across the operand first. It comes across the operand first. It encounters operand first, and then the operator, I can say. Yes. So because you see this is placed after the operand, so we call it as post increment or decrement operator here. Okay. Yes. So now will it make any difference if we use this pre-increment or decrement operators, or post increment or decrement? Will there be any difference? In both the cases, definitely that operator, you know, it decrements or it will increment or decrement the value respectively. Increment operator will increment the variable value by 1, and decrement operator will decrease that variable value by 1. Yes.
So what is the difference between pre and post?
So when it makes a difference, let's see. Yes. Yeah. Here, for example, if you consider this variable int I, let's say I equal to 0. So now if I do this plus plus I, and then if I print I value here, so what will be the result here? So what it is going to print?
0, 1.
So it prints 1 by default, right? Yes, it prints 1. So it prints 1. Now if I use I plus plus, now this time what will be the result?
Same, 1.
Still it will be 1.
It
Okay,
prints
still
0.
it will be 1. So in this case, it won't make any difference. You see, still it will be 1 itself. Okay, it will be 1. So if you use this operator independently this way, or if you use this operator here, if it is a very simple expression like this, only one variable is involved here. Okay, in this case, it doesn't make much difference, or in this context, it doesn't make much difference. Both, either ways. Definitely, as I told you people, increment or decrement, sorry, pre-increment or post-increment, of course, it will definitely increment that I value by 1. Okay, yes. Then where it makes a difference here, uh, when we can see this difference, yes. So, you know, for suppose, what if I do this plus plus I, okay, this time what will be the result? What do people think?
1.
Still 1. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So, what if I do this I plus plus?
0.
0. Yes. Now it makes difference. You see, in previous case when it was plus plus I, what happens is when this expression is evaluated, so actually what is happening here, we are calling a println method. In to that method a value has to be passed, but we are not directly passing that value here. Instead, you see, we are passing an expression, so that expression will not be passed on to that println method. Okay, that expression will not be passed on to the println method. So here definitely that expression has to be evaluated, and that value, you know, will be passed on to the println method. Yes, the value will be passed on to the println method. So in this case, when this expression is evaluated, as I told you people, expressions are always evaluated from left to right. Expressions are evaluated from left to right. Okay, just a second, all of you. So yes, people who have just joined, I'm talking about increment and decrement operators here. Okay, so that is what we are going through now. Yes. So just I'm talking about the differences here. Just started. So pre-increment or decrement means we'll see this operator before the operand, whereas post-increment means you'll see this operator after the operand. Operand means the variable on which this operator is operating. Yes. Okay. Yes. Just one. And just a minute. Hi, Manasa. Can you hear me? Manasa. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Okay, fine.
Um,
Okay, fine. You're able
yeah,
to hear me, right?
yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
You
And
better,
here I'm,
yeah, you better use this option, computer audio, and you'll be able to use uh, your machine, your laptop's mic and speakers. Yeah, and you'll have a better
okay.
quality also audio. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, fine.
Thank
I'll talk to you after
you.
the session. Just meanwhile, you do that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So hope others who have just joined late, hope you understood what I'm trying to explain here. So this is pre-increment and post-decrement. Uh, pre-increment or decrement and post-increment or decrement. Now here, for suppose if you have expression this way, so in this case, first of all, what happens? So this expression will be evaluated from left to right always. So first, the control comes across the operator. That means it understands that it has to increment some value. So which value it has to increment? Where is that value? You see, that value is stored in that variable. So variable follows. Now it will read that variable value, and it increments it by 1. Okay, and that value 1 will be passed on to the println method here. That value 1 is passed on to the println method. So that is how it works. You see, it prints 1. So println method is going to print 1. But you see, if I do this I minus I plus plus, so now this is a post increment operator. So post increment. So in this case, now what happens? How this expression will be evaluated? What value will be passed on to the println method? So the control, when it evaluates this expression again, it starts from left to right itself. So here, first of all, it comes across variable I. So it will read that value of I, and straight away it will consider that value for println method. Okay. So he doesn't know that, okay, we got an operator later on. It will simply straight away consider that y value for that println method to pass to that println method. After that, again, you got this increment operator. The control comes across increment operator. So now it will increment that I value and stores it into that variable I. It increments I value by 1 and stores it into that variable I. But you see earlier already it has considered value I value for println. So what value it was? 0. Initially 0 was a value and it has considered that I value for that println method, for passing it to the println method. Okay. Yes. So that is how it works. Yes. A println method will print 0 this time because 0 is passed on to it. So this way it makes some difference when you use this expression with in combination with a method call or with some other expressions. Okay. Yes. Fine. So hope you people got it right. Any questions in this regard?
No, no mind.
Now, okay, good. So now I'm going to show you people a question where I'm going to talk about another operator as well, and we'll also see this will be an example for increment and decrement as well. Yes, just a minute, guys. Just a minute, please. Um, okay, okay. So just check this question and try to answer this question here. Okay, so I got one answer. Okay,
C is the right answer.
okay. So let's try to evaluate this expression. So what is new here is that this OR, logical operator. So we are using logical operator OR here, right? So generally we use logical operators whenever we want to merge or join more than one conditions or one Boolean expression. If you got more than one Boolean expression, yes, this is OR here. Oh, sorry, and I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry. So that's right. So we got and here. Yes. So we use this logical operator whenever we are supposed to join more than one Boolean expression. Okay. So this AND operator, how it works, hope you people know that. So what it does, it joins the results of these two Boolean expressions. For suppose, if the first Boolean expression which you got here, if it is true, let's say if it is evaluated to true, and the second Boolean expression if it is evaluated to false, then what will be the result here? What will be the final result in that case? It will be false, you know that, right?
False.
So, you know, true here in this case, if these two expressions, if they evaluate to true, if these two expressions, if they evaluate to true, then only it is going to be true here. Okay, then only the result, final result will be true. If any one of this expression, if it evaluates to false, then
It will be
the whole result becomes false here. Yes, the final result will be false. Final result will be false. Yes. Okay. Um, but there is one important thing which you need to know here regarding this operator. Okay, logical operator. What is it? So normally you might have noticed it. Sometimes we use single ampersand and sometimes double ampersand is used. Both are logical operator and itself. Okay, both represent logical operator and. So what is the difference between this single ampersand and double ampersand? Is anyone familiar with it? Will it make any
okay.
difference if I use a single ampersand or a double ampersand?
No.
Okay, so yes, it makes difference. What difference it makes? Can you explain, Rupa?
One is for Boolean evaluation. I'm not sure the other one.
Actually, both represent a logical operator and itself here. Okay, both represents logical operator and here in Java. What makes the difference? I'll show you people. Uh, and double ampersand for two expressions. Huh? Um, okay, let's see. Let's see. So what happens is here in this case, if we use double ampersand, if the first expression evaluates to false, the second expression will not be evaluated. If you use double ampersand, if the first expression is evaluated to false, then what happens? The second expression will not be evaluated. Why so? What could be the reason here? Just think. Why the second expression will not be evaluated? Why it will be left?
Because final result will be depend upon the result of the first expression.
Yeah. So because anyways, you see, if one of the expression evaluates to false, the whole expression becomes false, right? The result of the whole expression, complete expression will be false. So That's the reason why here, processing of the second expression will be considered as waste here in this case. So that is what happens with double ampersand. That means now you have to rethink about your answer. So here we got I value 0 and j value 1. So what will be the condition here? I plus plus. That means what value of I will be considered for this condition checking here? What value of I will be considered for condition checking? 0 or 1? 0 will be considered because it's post increment operator, always 0 is considered here in this case. So is 0 equal to 1? No. So the condition is false. So straight away the control comes to this line 15 and it prints I value as 1 and j value as 1 itself. That's it. Okay. Yes. So if you want, we'll try to execute this code. Okay. Let me copy this. Yep. You see, it prints I value as 1 and j value also as 1. Why? Because this expression, second expression, did not evaluate. Okay, if that second expression evaluates, then what will be the j value? If that second expression evaluates, the second Boolean expression, if it evaluates, what will be the j value? It is supposed to be 2, right? Because it will be incremented by 2, right? So after the second expression evaluates, what will be the j value? It is going to be 2, right? Hope you people got it. Yes.
No, but why it did not evaluate J
Yeah, that
value?
is what I'm saying. That is how this double ampersand works.
Oh,
What it does, if the first expression is false, so it will ignore the second expression in here. It won't evaluate it because it considers that, okay, but anyways, the result of whole expression is going to be false. So processing is avoided here. Further processing is avoided because anyways the result is going to be false. False. Yep. So
I have
hope you understood now.
no. I have a question, Mahesh.
Yeah.
I plus plus is equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
Then why is it false? I mean, why is it not executing?
Yeah, just now I've explained about posting. It is post increment operator, right? So what value of I will be considered for condition checking?
Okay, okay.
It will be considered as
0.
0, not 1.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
If it
got
is
it.
So
pre-increment, it considered this as 1. Yes. Yes, Rupatan.
J should also be 1, right? Then, because
But
it is
this
also.
expression is not evaluating, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
This expression is not evaluating because the first expression result was false. So anyways, now what happens? Anyways, if that second expression, if it is true or false, the whole result is going to be false, right? The
Right.
final result is going to be false. So the double ampersand, what it does is it considers the evaluation of second expression as it ignores the evaluation of second expression because anyways the final result is going to be false. Got it? So
Yeah.
it won't evaluate the second one. But if you want both the expressions to be evaluated, use single ampersand. Okay? If you want both the expressions to be evaluated, then use ampersand, single ampersand. Now what will be the final result here this time? Sorry. Yeah, what will be the result this time?
False.
No, the j value and I value. What will be the j and I values here? I mean,
1 and
this one, the statement SOP in line number 11. So what it prints?
0, 1.
It prints 1 comma
1 and 2.
no, I value will be 1, j value will be 2. 42 will not be printed because this condition is false, right? One of the conditions is false, so the whole expression is will be evaluated to false here.
1,
Okay,
2.
so this I equal to 42, that assignment it will never work. So it only works when both the expressions are evaluated to true. Both the conditions have to be true, right? Then only the block control enters into the block and it assigns 42 to I.
Okay. Yeah.
So this time if I run this code, it should print I is 1 and j is 2. Why? Because this time, okay, even though the first condition is false, the second condition, the second expression which you got here, that expression is also evaluated. When that expression is evaluated, j value is incremented by 1.
1.
That means it becomes 2.
Mm.
So it becomes 2 here. So that's the reason why the end result it prints 2. Anyways, false and false is false. So this block is not going to execute. The block associated to if condition will not execute. So but final result is going to change. J value becomes 2 because this time the second expression was evaluated. Earlier it was not evaluated when you use double ampersand. So is it clear for you people?
Yeah.
So
Can we run one more example just to be clear?
one more example for what? For this ampersand, double ampersand.
Yes.
Okay,
No, no, not double ampersand. The increment and decrement operators.
increment and decrement. Okay, fine. Just a minute. Okay, for suppose if I do this while j plus plus I, so now can you people tell me what will be the result in this case? It prints 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, sorry. So
It will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
what will be the result? It won't be 1, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. So first of all, I value is 0. Initially I value is 0.
Yes.
So for the first time here, I value will be considered as 1 for this condition. Am I right? What value of I will be considered 1? So I is less than 5. So that means 1 is less than 5 for the first iteration. So is 1 less than 5? Yes, of course. So it prints I value as 1. Then for the second iteration, I value will be considered as 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. So 2 is less than 5. It prints 2. Now for the third iteration, I value will be considered as 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. So again the control enters into the loop, it prints 3. For the fourth iteration, I value will be considered as 4. So again the condition is satisfied, it prints I value is 4. For the fifth iteration, I value will be considered as 5. So that 5 is not less than 5, right? So the loop breaks. So for suppose if I have this expression this way, I plus plus, then what will be the result? So will it make any difference?
0, 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4. It prints?
0, 1, 2, 3,
4. No, it won't print 0. Because you see, when this for the first time also, when the expression is evaluated, definitely I value will be incremented. Only for condition checking, it will consider 0. In this case, you see, for condition checking, I value will be considered as 0. 0 less than 5. But you see, by the time this expression evaluates, definitely I value is incremented by 1. So in the loop, it starts printing from 1 itself.
Okay.
For the first iteration, I value will be 1.
Okay.
So, okay, it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's right. It prints up to 5 now. Because first of all, I value will be considered for condition checking. Straight away you see, I value will be read and it will be considered for condition checking. And then the operator, the control encounters this operator. So then it increments I value by 1 and stores it into 1. But it is not bothered with that value. What value it has read initially, it will consider that value for condition checking. Yes. So is it clear?
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay, fine. So now with this, I'll close this flow control. Okay, this knowledge should be enough so for you people to further explore also. So let's move on with the other concepts. Yes, just a minute. So today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, that is object oriented programming. So this concept, object oriented programming, yes, few people might be familiar and few may not be familiar. That's not, doesn't matter. But if you people know what is object oriented programming, can you people tell me? Can you people explain what is this object oriented programming? Yes, I'm just curious to know. So what do you people think about object oriented programming? Yes.
All the in object-oriented programming, everything is like a class, object
Okay, everything is class and
in
object.
a class. Yes, and everything needs to be called through the reference.
Okay, everything should be called through the reference. Okay, so you mean it's based on objects, class and objects. The programming is based on class and objects. Yeah. So that is what you,
And all
okay, yeah.
inherit in
Inheritance.
and the encapsulation of the data.
Okay. So
in object-oriented programming, we'll relate the, we'll write the programming based on the real-world scenarios, like real-world objects, considering it as an example.
okay,
Whereas in C, we doesn't do that. Based on static, I think.
okay. So object-oriented programming is based on real-world scenarios. That is what you're saying.
Like considering as an object, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yes, that's right. And I got one more answer here from Tarun. Every program is designed with objects and classes. Yes. So what you people said, I do agree. Yes. All of facts. What you have said about object-oriented programming. Yeah. So yeah, I define object-oriented programming this way. Object-oriented programming is applying object-oriented concepts in the programming or application development, I can say. So applying the object-oriented concepts here in the programming. That is what we do in this object-oriented programming. Yes, object-oriented concepts. As you people said, yes, everything is based on objects here. Yes, and we'll consider a real-world scenario. The programming will be based on that real-world objects. Yes. So first of all, before we move any further, so it's important to understand object-oriented concepts. I'm saying that this object-oriented programming is all about the application of object-oriented concepts. Object-oriented programming is all about application of object-oriented concepts, I can say. Yes. So what are object-oriented concepts? You know, I would like to take this opportunity to make you people understand the importance of object-oriented concepts in the software engineering. Okay, let me explain this. The importance of object-oriented concepts in the programming. So object-oriented concepts here, they play a crucial role. Yes. They're very important, I can say. Why, I'll tell you. Yes. Here, yeah, I'll tell you. Yes. So why uh, object-oriented concepts are important for software engineering, we'll see. Because, they're widely used in programming. You'll find that there are a lot of languages, programming languages, which are based on object-oriented concepts. Okay. I'm yet to talk about object-oriented concepts. We will see what are object-oriented concepts. Here, you have so many languages based on object-oriented programming. What are they? Java, C++, C Sharp, PHP, Python. Okay, this big list of object-oriented programming languages. Object-oriented programming languages means which support this object-oriented programming. Okay, the programming languages, they support object-oriented concepts. Okay, but you know what here? The object-oriented concepts, they're not only used in the programming, but they're used in analysis and design and analysis, I can say. Yes. So object-oriented concepts are used in analysis and design as well. In the software engineering, analysis and design phases are also very important. Yes. Before the application is developed, okay, for a particular requirement, for a particular client, before developing the application, before writing the codes, first of all, you'll have this analysis phase where all the requirements will be gathered, the client requirements will be gathered to understand how exactly the application should help the clients in their day-to-day business activities. What is the business problem actually? What is the problem statement, and how the application is supposed to provide the solution for that? Yes. So that is first thing. And after the analysis, you see, there is one more thing. So before your application is developed, it has to be designed. Designing the applications is also very crucial. Okay, for a successful application, okay, or software, there should be a design, a proper design. So design, without a proper design, yes, most of the times the applications will fail or softwares will fail. So you see, the way we construct, we draw a plan for the buildings before the building is constructed. A plan, you'll have a plan for that building, okay, or for a cars, for vehicles, you'll have models, okay. Similarly, for the applications also, you have a design. So that design explains all the features of that application. Yes. So the expected behavior and everything. Fine. So you see, in this analysis and design phase also, object-oriented concepts are used, especially for designing this software applications. Yes, you got a popular language for designing, for modeling these applications. It is actually called as UML. So Unified Modeling Language. Sorry. So if you people have heard about it, Unified Modeling Language, UML, is a language. It's not a programming language. It is a modeling language. That means which is used for designing the software systems and applications. Okay. Yes. So designing the software applications. It is used for designing the applications here. So this UML is completely based on object-oriented concepts itself again. Okay. Yes. So such is the importance of object-oriented concepts. So they're not just simply borrowed from C++. Most of them, the newbies, they think that, okay, so the concepts, object-oriented concepts are, first used in the C++, and they are very much specific to this C++. Actually, it is not the case. Object-oriented concepts, they are independent entity. You have to think about them as independent entity. So they can be applied in the programming, they can be applied in the design and analysis. Okay, they are not just specific to the programming. Okay, yes. So hope you people got it. Now the thing is, we need to understand what are these object-oriented concepts. Yes, you need to understand what are the object-oriented concepts. But before that, now I hope you understood that, okay, these concepts are used in programming and design. Yes, fine. So now what are object-oriented concepts? I'm not talking about programming here, okay? Yes, I'm not talking about programming now. The concepts which are applied in the programming, that we are discussing now, okay? Yes. So basically that concepts which you see, encapsulation, inheritance, object, polymorphism, so they are all related to this object oriented concepts. But what exactly are these object oriented concepts, from the where they have been derived? So I can say that object oriented concepts are derived from the real world. They are derived from the real world. So real world here is based on object oriented concepts itself. You see, everything in this world is an object. Yes. So everything, each and everything which you see, everything in this world is an object. So in the object oriented concepts, object is an important actor. Object is an important actor here. You see, in this world is completely made of objects, fully made of objects. You see everywhere, anything you see in this world, you have objects everywhere, all over the place. You have objects. You see, including us, even we are objects. You see, your laptop, your mobile, your pen, you know, your television, including us, we people are also objects. Yes, everything is an object. Yes. So the object oriented concepts are related to this object itself. Okay, object oriented concepts are nothing but they describe an object. Basically, you'll find that they're completely related to this object oriented. You see, the term itself indicates object oriented, means about an object, completely about an object. The term itself indicates, right? Object oriented. Yes, so it is an important actor here. So in the object oriented concepts, you will learn about an object and object itself. That's it. In the object oriented concepts, what you learn is, you learn about these objects, and that concepts related to the object will apply them in the programming. So you see, over the years, developers are using these concepts, and they have successfully were able to use this concept successfully, and they were able to um, maintain such applications. A lot of advantages of using this object oriented concepts. So people have realized it, and they are still using these concepts. Okay, yep, fine. So we'll discuss about this object oriented concept. We have already started. Now you need to understand what are objects here first of all. Okay, because it is completely regarding object. That's it. We'll only talk about object here. Object oriented concepts. Yes. So, and later on we'll see how we apply these concepts in the programming. That is what our aim will be here. Yes. Uh, just just a minute, please. Just a minute. Yeah, sorry. Can you people hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah. So now we have to talk about object. So that is what object-oriented concepts are. Okay. So we need to understand what is an object and its characteristics and the features. You know, that polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, these are all features, object-oriented features. That means they are features of an object. What are they? They are features of an object. Nothing but features of an object. Okay. So hope you people got it. Yes. So when I say object has got characteristics. Okay. Every object will have characteristics here. So what are the characteristics of an object? Number one, properties. Every object will have properties and behaviors. So these are the characteristics of an object. Every object will have characteristics. So these are the two characteristics here. So properties and behaviors. Every object will have these characteristics. Properties. So properties of an object or properties describes an object, I can say. Properties provide description of an object. Properties provide description of an object. Properties provide description of an object here. So when I say description of an object, what does it mean here? So it includes many things. We'll see. I'll give you the example. Whereas behaviors define the actions performed by an object. Behaviors define the actions performed by an object. Yes. Okay. Now let's take an example here to understand what are these properties and behaviors. As I told you people, properties provide description of an object. Behaviors define the actions performed by an object. So the example is, let's say, a person. No, a person object. So when we talk about a person, person is an object. That means definitely person will have properties. What are the properties of a person which provides a description of the person? You people know that. Yes. What are the properties of a person which describes or which provides a description of this person object? So a person has got a name, person has got age, color, height, okay, weight. So these are all the properties which will describe a person, right? A gender. Yep. So now what are the behaviors of a person object? What are the behaviors of a person object here? Yes, person can walk, person can eat, person can think. These are all the actions performed by person, right? Yes. So there can be a number of behaviors. Okay. So this way, you see, for every object, you take any object, for an object, you'll have properties and behaviors. Okay. So now let's take another example. Now you people should tell me. Let's take a savings account object. So it's a bank account. Let's say I'm talking about a savings account here, which is related to a bank. Yes. So what are the properties of a savings account object?
Deposit, balance, withdrawal.
Okay. Yes, that's right. Person will have, sorry, savings account will have account number. Savings account will have balance. These are the properties, right? Whether again we'll have a status for the savings account, whether it is active or a dormant state or whether it is closed. Okay. So such details.
Name.
Name, you see, it's not a property of that savings account. Name is a property of a person who's called as an account holder who owns this account or who holds this account, right? So account owner we say, right? So for an account you'll have account owner. For that account owner you'll have a name. So that is the property. Name is the property of an account holder, account owner or account holder I can say. Okay, you can have branch, okay, and so on like that. What about the behaviors here? Yes.
Deposit, withdrawal.
Yeah, transactions means yes, deposit. The transactions means yes, deposit, withdraw, and what else? Transfer of funds, inquiry, balance inquiry. So these are the behaviors here. Yes, the actions which we perform on the savings account object. Yes. So you know what? If you're thinking about why we need this concepts, why we are talking about it, because all these concepts will be applying in the programming. You'll find that we have to simulate these objects in the programming. We need to simulate this objects here. We'll do that. Yes. So we need to represent the real world objects here. That is what we'll be doing in the object oriented programming. Yes. Okay. So first, now what you understood? Okay. Object is any real world thing here. Okay. Yes. And object has got properties and behaviors. Anything in this world is an object, and it has got characteristics. So what are the characteristics? Characteristics means the properties and behaviors of an object. The properties and behaviors of an object. Yes. So properties, they describe an object, they provide description of an object, whereas behaviors, they define the actions here. Yes. And you see, for these objects, you'll have features. You can say general features which you'll see in all the objects here. Yes. What are they? So features of an object. So or object oriented features which you see. Object oriented features. So first one is inheritance. So inheritance, we are not new to this concept. Inheritance, it describes a parent-child relationship between the objects here. Okay, inheritance basically it describes a parent-child relationship between an object. So you take a real world objects. You see one object, it inherits the properties and behaviors of another object. One object derives or will inherit the properties and behaviors of another object. And we people are very big example for that, right? Yes. So we inherit properties and behaviors of our parents. Okay. So the object whose properties and behaviors are inherited or derived by another object, that object is a parent object here. That object is called as a parent object. Yes. The object whose properties and behaviors are inherited by another object, that object is a parent object. And the object which is inheriting the object, okay, which is inheriting the properties and behaviors of another object, the object which inherits the properties and behaviors of another object, that object is called as child object here. That object is called as child object. Yes. Okay. You know what? This inheritance concept, it is widely used in the programming. Inheritance concept is widely used in the in Java especially, I can say. You know, surprisingly, you'll find that there is a very good benefit or advantage of using this concept. Yes, and one more thing, let me tell you people, we cannot imagine Java without inheritance concept. We can't even define a single class without using inheritance. inheritance is the most widely used concept in Java. Okay, so yeah, as I told you people, we cannot even define a single class in Java without using inheritance. Even now we have defined class, right? That class also uses inheritance concept definitely. Okay, that class also definitely uses inheritance concept. Yes, fine. So the main advantage of using inheritance concept in the programming is reusability. Reusability. It helps us to avoid duplication, code duplication. It helps us to reuse the code, existing code. We can make use of it. Reusability. We'll see. Definitely, we'll go through it when I discuss about when we implement this concepts. You'll come to know about it. Next, polymorphism. This is another object-oriented concept. Yes, a feature. Sorry, another feature of an object, polymorphism. So, what is polymorphism? Poly means many, morphism means forms. Polymorphism means many forms, I can say. Poly means many, forms means, sorry, morphism means forms, many forms. Yep. So, many forms. This is another feature of an object. Object existing in more than one form. An object can exist in more than one form. Yeah. So can you people give me an example for that? An object. I'm talking about a particular object. I said an object existing in many forms. Yes. Okay. Talking how? Okay. I said object itself
So
existing in many.
polym
Yeah. Tell me, Sadhbir.
yeah, polymorphism is nothing is its ability to take more than one form. Like a function can take a int parameter and can perform some function and
Uh, okay.
take kind of
Sadhbir,
float.
I'm sorry. Let me just interrupt you here. So we are not talking about programming here. Okay. Uh,
Yeah, like
related to real world, something which is
real time. A real time, like there is a
real world,
animal class
real
which
world.
is parent class, and we can inherit in cat class or dog class. So animal can be a cat or dog.
Okay. Yes. You know, simplest form of this example, yes, is I am talking about a particular object. An object cannot be a cat or dog, both, right? Can be either cat or dog, but not both. Am I right? So it can't be an
Yeah.
example for that. So one example which we see
One.
in real world. Yes, tell me one.
It is the life cycle of a frog in which it takes number of forms like tadpole larva, which resembles a fish.
Okay.
That concept is actually called a polymorphism.
Yes, and also you see butterfly. So
Yeah, butterfly, caterpillar.
yes,
Yeah, it,
first
it changes into
takes
the
that
butterfly.
form. You know, caterpillar. Also another example. You know,
Yes.
so these are examples. Before like butterfly. What is that? I'm sorry, I don't know. So first initially what
Uh,
happens? Butterfly.
Caterpillar, that is called a caterpillar larva.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
it takes the form of butterfly. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So another example, simplest example here, very simple example is water. So you take a glass of water. Now this glass of water which you got, it can also take many forms. For suppose if you freeze it, it becomes ice. That is one of the forms. And for suppose if you heat it, it becomes vapors. That means it is gas state. So water in solid state is called ice, and basically when you heat it, sorry, when you freeze it, it becomes ice. And you know, uh, the same glass of water, if you heat it, it evaporates. It takes the form of gas. In liquid state, it is water. We say water, right? You got it, all of you. And surprisingly, you know what? Even we people are big examples for polymorphism. So why don't we realize it? I guess some great person already said this. You know, is it Shakespeare? So this world is a stage where we are all actors. Yes, of course, we people are big actors. Yes. So how, for suppose you see, we have to realize this. From context to context, the roles which we play are going to change. The way we behave, the role we play, the responsibilities we got will be different. For suppose, so let's say when you're at your home, so for your parents, you're a son or a daughter, and for your siblings, you will be a sister or a brother. You see, as a sister or a brother, you got a role to play. You got some responsibilities. As a daughter or a son, you play that role and you have certain responsibilities. The way you behave, the responsibilities will be different. And when you're at your office, okay, you play the role of a teammate. Okay, you got a designation over there, so you will be playing a different role over there. You have different set of responsibilities altogether, right? So you see, similarly, when you're with your friends, you got a different role to play. You have different set of responsibilities, right? So for your kids, you might be a father or mother, and you got another role or responsibility to play. Yes. So yes, of course, we also take many forms, am I right? So the way we behave, the roles which we play are going to be different in different contexts. Though we are the same person, we don't behave the same way everywhere, right? And we don't play the same role everywhere. Yes. So we don't act the same way. Yes. So that is again polymorphism itself, right? So hope you people got it. Is it clear for you people?
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. So again, the polymorphism also, yes, we use this in the programming a lot. Okay. Next, we got other things also, like we have to talk about the other object-oriented features, but I don't want to take that risk today. Okay, and I've got something. So let's do this. We'll discuss about it in the next class, and I would like to also do some programming in the next class. And this weekend, to cover up this time, so I'm going to conduct a special class. On Saturday, we'll have a class at same time, and we'll just extend it for 1.5 hour or so. So this weekend we'll have 3.5 hour session or so. Okay, 3 to 4, 3.5 hours. Yes. So I'll let you know the timings tomorrow. We'll finalize the timings tomorrow. So we got a class tomorrow as well, but tomorrow's class will be for 2 hours definitely. Okay. Yes. Fine. So I'll stop it here today. Yes. So hope what we have discussed so